If you have a Mavic Pro but you find yourself not traveling with it, not getting really good footage during the daytime, or not being able to use it at all because you can't fly where you're at, here are 3 accessories that'll help you with each of those problems. First up is a better travel case for the Mavic Pro. The whole point of this drone is that it's small and simple to take with you, doesn't take up a lot of space or weigh a lot, but if you don't have a good travel bag to put all the accessories that you need along with this, like extra batteries and charging cables and such, then you're probably still not gonna take it. So I saw this on Twitter from Polar Pro. It's a travel case that holds up to 3 batteries, including one plugged into the Mavic Pro, a charging cable, the controller, and a bunch of other stuff like accessories or ND filters, all can fit in this case pretty easily. The next accessory I'd recommend is to get ND filters for your Mavic Pro's lens. These are basically sunglasses that go on top of the lens at different levels to actually cut down on the amount of light that goes into the camera sensor. So to get better looking footage during the daytime, I definitely recommend using an ND filter like these Cinema Series ones from Polar Pro. This 6-pack comes with 3 that are polarized and 3 that are not. You have ND4, ND8, ND16, as well as an ND32 that's not polarized. In general, when filming, you want your shutter speed to be double your frame rate. So I was flying this and filming at 30 frames a second, but I wanted my shutter speed to be at 1/60th. Now, how it looked outside with no ND filter was my shutter at 1/1000th looked pretty good to make sure that the blue sky wasn't being blown out at all. To go from 1/1000th to 1/60, I had to cut that down 4 times or 4 stops. So I halved 1000 to 500, 250, 125, and then 1/60th. So I was looking for an ND filter that dropped it down 4 stops. In this case, that turned out to be the ND16 filter. The end result is just a smoother looking shot when your shutter speed is double your frame rate. Now there can be a lot of math involved in figuring out the exact ND filter that you need to use depending on how bright it is outside. Thankfully, Polar Pro has an app that you can use to do those calculations really quickly. You just put in whatever the values are that you're currently shooting with, and then it'll tell you what ND filter to put on to get that shutter speed down to where you want it to be. Third accessory that's really cool if you can't fly your drone where you're at, but you still want to get some really cinematic footage, is to just handhold the drone using something like the Katana. This thing, after you take the blades off of your Mavic Pro, you turn it on and you can get some really stabilized shots using just the built-in stabilizer and camera on the drone. To put it together, remember to make sure to take off those props, and I like to mount it right behind the battery button so I can still access turning on and turning off the drone. To use the Mavic Pro this way, you'll have to switch into Wi-Fi mode instead of remote control mode too. Then you can use the phone mount at either 45 degrees or 90 degrees so you can actually see what it is you're filming. One great thing about this setup is that when the Mavic Pro is not flying, the battery lasts a really long time, so you can end up filming for an hour or 2 without having to swap out this battery. Some of the downsides of using the Katana to film with the Mavic Pro are that you can see your walking steps as it bounces up and down, so just be really cautious of that as you're using it. Also, you're limited by the image quality, dynamic range, and focal length of the Mavic Pro, which isn't the best camera out there, definitely, but it still allows you to get some pretty cool shots. And lastly, you're not going to get any audio when you're recording either, so you're either gonna have to record that separately or add it in later. The biggest thing for me was after I initially got my Mavic Pro and flew it a little bit in New Zealand, I didn't find myself using it very much because I live close to an airport, I wouldn't travel with it, and it was always too bright outside to get the look that I wanted. So if you find yourself not traveling with your drone because you don't have a good case for it, you're filming in the daytime and what you get is not looking how you want it to, or you want to experiment a little bit more with getting cinematic Mavic Pro shots without having to fly it, I definitely recommend you try out some of these accessories. Thanks for Polar Pro for sending these out for me to review and to share with you all. Links to them are down below. Help support the channel by clicking on those affiliate links if you're interested in any of these products, and I will see you in another one.